TOMz kwaye senamkela kwesinye isiqendu se-teenagers on a mission apha kweli gumbi lase-SABC 1 mzansi for sure siphathwe ngabantu lo nkqubo SABC Education manje ngibonga sipha nami ndedwa phuthu njani
ngikuphilile njani wena mina igama lami ngeusiya and we cannot wait to get the show started namhlanje because we are going to be checking out some of the most superpowers that animals have developed to help them adapt to their environment.
So i-superpowers nasiya uthini usiya guys i-superpowers zamanyani
zamanyani kaloku ndiyakuxelela nabonke humans and animals all have developed special powers and abilities that help them survive. And lento siyibiza adaptation, and that's exactly what we're checking out namhlanje.
Ijalo kanye ke bethu nani so like u-Spider-Man okanye u-Thor okanye u-Captain America. Adaptation gives special powers to lots of different species all over the world. Now bethu nani I can't wait to see but ingantoni kanye yonke lento. So let's get the show started and yazi ntoni bethu masibone namhlanje sanifakela ntoni.
Nazo. Coming up on TOMz.
Sifumana inkcukacha sevetshe kaloku about some special powers that animals have developed ukuze ziphile ngcono.
Sifuna kabanzi about biodiversities and species in Mzansi trying to adapt to global warming.
We check out a very interesting animal, the aardvark, and how its skeleton shows us what special powers it actually has.
Hayi lokho kuphela kuthiwa guys sifuna kabanzi about how humans have adapted and become what they are today. Let's get this party started.
So zonke izinto eziphilayo can respond to the environment and develop its skills, physical characteristics and ways of acting that are like superpowers that make them work better kwi-environment yabo. So bethu nani siya wena ne uba ungane superpower ingaba into?
Ingabi teleporting. I'll teleport literally to every TOMz viewer. Ngibanika high five.
La bethu nani lo mbuzo unikeza umdla kakhulu. Imagine if you could develop your own superpower. What would it be? Sandleke saye ko Paris. Sabuza Paris. Thini into? Masibone bathi nibone.
So ngifuna ukuyena ngathi if you had to adapt one ability or superpower to make your life easier, what would it be?
I think a mind reader.
Ukuba invisible.
Why?
Asho manje cha wonke umuntu uyabona into yenza yabona.
Flying.
Why?
I will be in places in a minute. Inkukhu.
Inja yona. So inja ngewitsi yapha.
Inja nayo very ayive kodwa ejula uyayibona amaqala nje ukubanda inokubaleka isithunyana ithola leyo intonyana enjalo kati mara engicabanga ukuthi best inja
yeah
why ayimfethi inja mfethi azinja
hola Nando silokhulumayo you're watching TOMz Mzansi for sure keep watching.
You're watching Mzansi for sure, the best show ever. TOMz, get straight. Don't forget about it.
Ezinye izilwanyana ke bethu nani ziyakwazi ukubhabha kwaye ke some can blend into the environments like a chameleon ethi tshintsha umbala to match its surroundings. Now that's an awesome power ngisho bethu nani khafana ucinge wena you could just hide from anyone. Udlala undize.
That would be a very amazing power. Imagine standing against a brick wall and just blending into it. You could become a spy and go on to secret missions.
Yazi ntoni ukhana uqhetha wena siya. If you could fly, you could definitely skip your traffic. And it wouldn't matter about robots ziyasebenza or asebenzi. Yazi ntoni masike sifumane some amazing animal adaptations.
Adaptations are like superpowers that animals develop to help them survive. One of the most important adaptations that so many species have developed is the habit of living together in communal or family groups. Now animals as well as abantu help each other find food, protect each other from predators, and they look after their young this way.
Now, another useful adaptation animals have evolved is the ability to fly. Flying is a fast way to travel and a great way to escape predators. Camouflage is a great adaptation that allows animals to either avoid being seen by predators by blending into their surroundings and not being seen, or for predators to blend into their surroundings to effectively sneak up on their prey without being seen. So it works both ways.
Now imagine if you could sleep through the cold winter months and not have to get out of bed in the freezing cold. That's exactly what some animals do. Another useful adaptation is the ability to hibernate. So some animals like bears nap through the winter. Their bodies have developed the ability to store food while they sleep and they only wake up again when it's warm enough.
Now bethu species nganye kaloku of animal has unique characteristics and behavior ezithi ke zivumele to feed, find a mate, to breed, to raise the young kwaye live in a population of the same species or escape i-threats ezifana ne-predators.
No, Nabongi, as we've seen, all of these characteristics have adapted over long periods of time, while the species has been living in the very same environment.
Injalo kanye ke wena ke siya sesihamba ke thina kaloku bethu sayondwendwela the South African National Biodiversity Institute ufumana inkcukacha ezisevetshe ngale biodiversity kwaye the effects of global warming. Check it out.
And of course, akubanga imishini yethu bafethu, we just touched down in Pretoria. Uzovakashela iSemi Botanical Gardens ukufunda kabanzi about adaptation to plants. So right now, me and this, we're going in. Kunjani sisi wami?
Hi, how are you?
Grand.
I'm fine,
You
thank
100?
you. Yeah, sort of.
Since sikhuluma nge-climate change, ngiyangitshela go, how do plants actually like survive in the environment nge-climate change so?
Well, it's a thing called adaptation.
Okay.
Plants, this adaptation is when plants, anything that has to do with plants, it helps them live or survive in these harsh conditions. So it takes a while for a plant. It can take thousands and thousands of years for a plant to actually adapt to a certain condition.
Okay.
It doesn't happen overnight. Yeah.
Okay, so since sikhuluma nge-climate change ke, awungitshele ke ngama-plants, how do they adapt to the environment nge-climate change so?
Okay, plants, we have different plants. We've got xerophytes, which are plants that adapt in living in dry areas.
Okay.
We've got mesophytes, which are plants that live to moderate environments.
Okay.
And hydrophytes, which are plants that are able to live in water.
Okay.
So they have they come in different leaf sizes. Some can be hairy, some can be succulents, some can be a different color. So that helps the plant, just like the way animals migrate, animals hibernate and camouflage in different situations. Plants do the same thing.
Okay, so cool. So tell me, how did the plants how does the climate affect the plants on their own?
Yes, climate is affecting because some plants are adapted in living in these conditions, but then when the conditions start to change, it might lead to an extinction of the plant because the plant cannot take in that condition because it takes over 1,000 years or even more for a plant to start adapting to those conditions.
Okay, so now give me an example of plants that can adapt anywhere.
Okay, like a cactus. You can buy a cactus that doesn't need a lot of maintenance. You don't need to water it. You don't need to put it in the sun. It'll just grow. If you put too much water in it, it's gonna die because it has that ability to store enough water for it. So that's one of the plants that you can buy almost anywhere, and then you don't have to look after it because the conditions are suitable for it.
So how do we affect climate change?
Okay, we are the #1 affectors or the impactors, the people that cause this.
Okay.
Because without us, there would not be any pollution. Without us, there will not be any cutting of trees. And we do that because we want to survive as well. But we need to do that in a sustainable way. Because if you cut down a tree, you need to plant one to substitute the one that you took out. So people cut down trees so that they can make space, so that they are able to plant homes for themselves or build homes for themselves. And pollution, some people are just ignorant. They don't know how this impacts them. So we need to find ways in solving these problems. Actually, there are ways that we need, but then people need to know about these things.
So like to fight climate change?
Okay. All trees actually help us fight climate change because climate change has to do with the emission of carbon in the atmosphere. So plants take in carbon dioxide and give us back oxygen. So, but then there's one special plant that does it more because a speckworm, it's called the speckworm.
Okay.
The speckworm is one stand of this plant is able to take up more than a tropical forest can take in carbon dioxide.
Yo.
Yes, very interesting. Just a plant, nothing else. It can take more because of its adaptations and how it is made up. Yeah.
So ke bethu with ilizwe elitshintsha kwakumbuzi mina uyakuza ba thina abantu and other species we will be able to change and adapt i-powers zethu and abilities ukuze sikwazi ukuphila ngcono.
Yazotini, only the strong survive in nature, but we can still make a difference by slowing down climate change if we reduce our carbon footprint. It's all in the little things that we do every day, like reducing how much energy we use. So come on, Mzansi, let's make a difference. That's where I thought I would be checking out an amazing animal that has developed the ability to dig like a bulldozer, the aardvark. Ungayendawo siyabuyemva kwalokhu.
TOMz.
Students, Mani kaloku kwesinye isiqendu esitshisimunzi TOMz. Teenagers on a mission ke lena kweli gumbi lase SABC 1 Mzansi.
Namhlanje ke sifuna kabanzi about adaptation by checking out some of the most amazing powers different species have developed to survive in their environment.
Injalo kanye nawo siphumile ke bethu nane earlier namhlanje saye kopero sabuza uba wena ubungane power ingaba yiphi. Nathi ke apha emakhaya asinivaleli ngaphandle kaloku sithi khani sixelele tweet Facebook yonke laa nto yemana lathi khasixelele.
And so sikhuluma now later on in the show social segment yethu, so you do not want to miss that. If Labeka uthandela ama-superheroes, you know that they've got some special powers that make them unique, like Wolverine, who uses his claws to fight his enemy.
Injalo kanye ngaye ke bethu nani kweli lizwe lamanyani kaloku zikhona ii-animals that have also developed special powers ezithi zibanceda uba batye to fight off predators kwaye ziphile. Uyazi kona ke siba i-Wolverine lena is an animal that lives in North Canada and it has developed ii-powers esizezayo.
Well, wena bonke sibuqinise kakhulu. Now, so the real Wolverine also has powers in the show, like the superhero. Okay, and there's another animal that has also developed powers that so ibona khona manje ukuthi sikhulume ngayo ukuthi sithole kabanzi ngayo aardvark, and then we've checked out this amazing animal at the Wits Zoology Museum.
So kubanga imishini yethu bafethu nazi namhlanje sikhuluma nge-adaptation and species. We just touched down at Wits University ukuthola kabanzi about certain information. So dala ngizwe nge-aardvark kahle kahle yini lento le? Is it human? Is it an animal? Is it a planet? You know what? You and me, you know what we do. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, good. Welcome to TOMz.
Thank you.
So tell us, where are we and what are we doing here?
So currently we're at the Life Sciences Museum at the University of the Witwatersrand. And we're here to study aardvarks.
Okay, so tell us, why do they call it an aardvark?
Okay, so aardvark in Afrikaans and in Dutch means earth pig, and it kind of looks like a little pig, but it lives in the earth and it digs and it lives in burrows.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about the adaptation. How does it live?
Okay, so the aardvark, because it lives underground, the main thing is that it needs to know how to burrow. So burrow means digging. So there's many features on its skeleton that actually helps it with that.
Okay.
So the first one is, so this is what we call a forelimb. So the forelimb is the arm, and it has a very short forelimb.
Okay.
And if you look at its claws, it's got blunt claws, so they work as spades.
Okay, so it digs with its hands.
Right, so it digs with its hands, it moves the earth, and then using its legs and its tail, it moves the earth out of the way.
Okay. So when it digs, is it digging for food or is it digging what?
No, so it digs for burrows, so it digs to create a habitat where it can live underground, kind of like a bunny.
Why does it move around? Why can it not stay on one place?
Because it forages on termites and ants.
Okay.
And so once it's exhausted those termite mounds in the area, then it
goes to the next
will move.
area.
You're right.
Okay, so it eats termites and ants.
Yeah, so it goes and breaks termite mounds, so like those big termite mounds that you see in game reserves, it goes and breaks them down, and then they have a very sticky tongue that they eject and catch termites with, and then they swallow them whole.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about its lifespan. It lives for how many years?
About 10 years.
10 years. Does it grow bigger than this, or this is like?
They can grow up to about 1.5 meters, and they can weigh up to 70 kilos.
Okay. Okay, so tell me more about the feeding process.
Okay, so like I said, they feed mostly on termites and on ants, and they use their tongue to catch those. They can eat up to 50,000 termites a night.
Okay.
They mostly live at night. So they have specialized teeth, which look like these. And you can see them in the jaw as well. You can hold that.
Okay.
All right, so you can see the teeth are very flat, and they don't actually use their teeth to chew the termites, because in their stomach they have what we call a gizzard, and that will crunch the termites for them. Okay. So if we look at its skull, we also see that it has a long snout, and the reason for this is because they live at night and they have a very poor eyesight, so they're what we call nocturnal animals.
Okay.
So because they have a poor eyesight, they have big ears and a long snout, which means they have very good hearing and a very good sense of smell.
Is there anything interesting about these guys' ancestors?
There is actually. So the aardvark is the only living species in its group.
Okay.
The group it's called tubular dentata, which means tubular teeth, which we looked at earlier on.
Okay.
And there used to be 3 other types of animals in that group, which appeared 50 million years ago, and all of them went extinct. So this is the only one that's left in that group.
Oh, wow.
So it's what we call a living fossil, because it hasn't actually changed much since its ancestor. It looks pretty much the same as it did 50 million years ago.
Okay.
The aardvark itself first appears about 20 million years ago in Kenya.
Yeah.
The aardvark skeleton shows us how the aardvark or earth pig has adapted the ability to be a powerful digger. Now it is able to exert great force on soil or clay so that it can burrow and feed. Over centuries of adaptation, the aardvark has developed short limbs and powerful claws. Now, these characteristics allow it to stay stable by using its back legs like a tripod to keep it firmly on the ground when it is digging, with its tail providing extra support.
Yo, guys, no, that's a powerful animal with some amazing skills, man.
Cool, and there are so many animals out there that have developed awesome powers, like the lion, who has claws and strong jaws for hunting its prey, and the impala that is agile and light, allowing it to run away from the lion.
Not Leo Kauna, see, a great white shark, which is an upper jaw that is not fused to its skull. So in the end, is that if we get the great white to stick its head out from its yayo, giving Gamma's new eye a longer reach and creating a vacuum to help suck any prey. I don't think I know from Timana, like, I'll pull like a
Yeah, I mean, I'm ngiyipholile nje phansi komthunzi kwena ngomanje ke sithi adbreak kodwa nathi into esizobuya ngayo nazo. Meswe we go back in time in clockwise with this toilet gabanzi about the history of human adaptation. We check out some amazing online content in cyberspace, and we get some awesome career advice. Unganjao siyabuya khona manje.
TOMz. TOMz.
Sina samkele ibethwana lapha ku TOMz kweli gumbi lase SABC 1 Mzansi for sure siphathele ngabaqulu umqinqu SABC Education.
Now sesifunde kakhulu about species that have adapted to their environments, from animals that can fly to animals that have powerful claws. Kodwa ke, what about us? How have we adapted to our environment?
Well, abantu have also developed very special skills over the centuries, and that has made us at the top of the food chain. Now, we may not have claws or big teeth, but our highly developed brains to be smarter than other animals and invent ways of protecting ourselves. Now, to develop the skills and the abilities that we needed to survive, just like it took us animals time to adapt to their environments. Why, even though we may not be developing new physical features, we are adapting in different ways.
Now, so adapting to cultures, technology and new ways of doing things. This was all part of an adaptation process that started thousands of years ago. Let's go back in time, clockwise in Patilin.
Scientists have dated the oldest known fossils with modern human features to about 195,000 years ago. Modern humans, which are called Homo sapiens, and early Homo sapien fossils have been found in Sudan, Ethiopia, here in Mzansi, and in Israel. Homo sapiens are the results of centuries of adapting to the environment, and scientists believe that modern Homo sapiens originated here in Africa and began spreading to other parts of the world about 90,000 years ago. How and why this happened is still being studied even today, and there are no clear answers just yet. It was only about 40,000 years ago that Homo sapiens like us emerged, and since that time, we have continued to adapt less physically and more culturally. We have not yet developed new physical characteristics in thousands of years, but we adapt to our environments in different ways, like adjusting to local traditions, finding jobs that we are good at, and working at coexisting with other humans.
One of the ways that we have adapted is using new technology. Now we have a new way of learning, being search engines. Why computers have become our brain's new external hard drive.
Cool. Now, studies in America have shown us that the way we find information online is affecting the way that we remember and gather information.
We are actually still adapting to our environment, just like other animals all over the world, just in a slightly different way.
Check it out.
And if you want to find out about our species emhlabeni jikelele ukuthi adapt kanjani to the environment, bakashela www.education.nationalgeographic.com for amazing facts on people nezilwane ukuthi zi-adapt kanjani to the environment. And if you really like to expand and test your knowledge on how biodiversity isebenza kanjani, you can discover 400 different animal species and all the categories they fit in. And ungatest knowledge yakho in biodiversity quiz on Biodiversity is Us app for Android. And for all you need to know about global warming, which is a very important factor that we need to adapt to, check out Effects of Global Warming app for Android, which gives you all you need to know about how to make a difference in the global bigger picture by reducing your carbon footprint. How great is that?
Now, getting species adapt over a long period of time, and external factors are a big influence on our ecosystem. If the environment is damaged too soon, if species don't have time to adapt, conservation and environmental awareness. And
if it means a lot to you, helping make sure that our planet and species are safe, to protect our country's amazing species and getting to a career in conservation. If you are interested in animals and animal conservation, maybe you could think about a career with the South African National Parks Board. The Parks Board offers internship placements with South African national parks varying from 6 months to a year. Now there are over 15 national parks to choose from, including the world famous Kruger National Park, and interns can apply for these unique and life-changing experiences. Interns work within the People and Conservation Department, assisting in environmental education and community development projects. Interns must be over 21 and will have to undergo a selection procedure to qualify. Now to apply, you need to be very independent and motivated, have a positive attitude and be willing to learn, have sensitivity and respect for other cultures, and have good people skills and verbal and written communication skills. Now to find out more about how to apply, you can visit www.sanparks.co.za.
So you could be working in one of our national parks, protecting your natural resources.
And also, how cool would it be to work somewhere like the Kruger National Park every single day? Your office would be the great outdoors.
About the great careers from
I'm a nature conservator. I studied for 3 years with Tshwane University of Technology. And for you guys to be doing something like I'm doing right now, you have to have the passion for it. You have to be an outdoorsy person, be able to have communication skills, because you have to, even though you want to work only with plants, you will end up talking to people. So you have to have the communication skills to do it. You need to be ecological. Think about ways of how we can help the planet survive. So yes, conservation is very broad. You can become a vet, an ecologist, a scientist, botanist, zoologist. The list is endless and the world is your oyster.
Hi kids, so if like me you'd like to study evolution and animals, then it's recommended that you guys do biology, physics and maths, so basically science in high school, and then come and do a Bachelor of Science at the University of the Witwatersrand. And then there's many careers that you can have that revolve around animal, plants and environmental scientists, such as researchers, zoologists and evolutionary biologists.
Social sessions namhlanje ke siphethe bani wapi esitheni
namhlanje lapha na Facebook siphethe usanele mgaga athi yena, what happens if you are taking meds and not exercising? Wayikho ngempela inkinga kodwa ke inkinga izoba khona uma ungadli before uphuza medication yakho. Wesibili siphethe ba
kwesibili kaloku lapha ku Facebook ngusiya uthi, guys, I love the show, keep it up. Yazi nje uthandwa sithi kwaye thank you for that message. Siya xa ufuna ufana nabo benze njani
easy man. On Facebook we are simply TOMz, on Twitter at TOMz_SABC_1, on Instagram at TOMzTV_SABC1. For now Tina needs to keep tweeting.
So sifundile ukuba ke bethani zonke izilwanyana sibandakanya nabantu who have developed special powers because of their ability to adapt and to survive. Kwaye ke we also have the ability to make a difference to our environment by looking after it.
Mina ke, I wonder what special powers will develop over the next thousands of years. Will we have super brains? Will we learn how to fly? Kwazibani, we are adapting every day.
So kwena ke bethani ngaqhubeka lokho ucinga nge-super powers zakho, but uzikhumbula uba xa uthi unazo usebenzisa uba zincede environment. It's something to think about ke until enye show yethu siyabulela bethani ngohlala nathi, but namhlanje sithi pelile. Bye-bye.
Coming up next time on TOMz.
Life on Earth is interconnected, but how does this work for water and land?
See how amazing tech helps us take care of our natural water resources and why taking care of our rivers are so important.
Put on your fly fishing hat when we hang out with some of Mzansi's next top anglers.
Uphinde futhi uthole kabanzi about the different types of life in water.
Ungaphosa kona ke ngithoyemzi rhoqo ngemivulana ngolwesibini ngesimbi yesine apha ku SABC 1
Mzansi for sure.